Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Katy. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are counting down our top 10 of the 2024 releases. But before we get started, as always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, hit that bell icon if you want notification of any future content.
And you can click the link below and you can find all of our social media.
All right. So, welcome to our new studio.
Yes.
We've spent a good chunk of this past year putting this room together. It was originally a guest room in the house that got used once a year, and that was it. Mm-hmm. So we decided to put it to more use.
And it takes all the recording out of the game room and make it more room to play games.
It takes about 50%, 80%. I'd say 80%, because all that's left down there now is going to be gameplays if we do them, when we do them. And then the playing through our collection videos will continue to be shot in there for the time being.
Top 10s will be in here.
Top 10s will be in here.
Reviews will be in here.
Yeah, and our podcast is recorded in here, so yeah.
So, crossovers?
Oh gosh, there's not that many. We only had 52 games on the list, so we've not played all of 2024 releases.
No.
Spoilers.
No, we can't do that.
There's no way possible to do that. We had 52 games on the list that we did.
Yeah, we would have had to make this our job, and we still wouldn't have made it all the way through.
No, it would not have. We did get a new one in last night.
Yes.
So that makes 53 that we've played of the 24 releases. Crossovers.
I'm thinking 1, 2, 3.
I'm thinking 4. I'm betting on 4 for sure. Maybe 5.
Maybe, yeah. I'm thinking. Okay, let's see. Let me recount this. What I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely 5. Definitely 5. Could possibly be 6 out of the 10.
Wow. That's well, we like the same types of games.
So you're going 5. I'm going 5. But
6.
I have that 6 there on the side just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Pick one.
Anyway, you're number 10.
Okay, my number 10 is, well, I said it goes without saying, released this year. Designed by Jonah Ben. I'm not even going to say. Why am I even trying to say these names?
You're putting it right there.
Benevito? Well, I put the designer down, the publisher down. I don't always put the designer down.
Okay.
Anyway, Jonah Benevito. This is Harmonies. Harmonies is, I love the puzzle behind it. You are building out a board of basically landscapes of, different features, different nature features. Well, you got buildings in there too, so those aren't nature. But anyway, trees and fields and rivers and mountains, and then you can build buildings in there too. And you're carefully constructing these based on cards that you are claiming from a central display that show what type of animals want what type of habitats. That's the word I was looking for a minute ago and could not come up with.
Habitats?
Habitats. What animals want certain types of habitats. So you may have an animal that wants a field next to, or a field or a meadow next to 2 pieces of stream. And you may have another one that wants a mountain next to a tree. Something along those lines. And then as you are able to fulfill the specific habitat it wants, the specific setup it wants, you take one of the cubes off of the card that you put there when you first claim the card, and you place it into wherever the card says in that habitat area, in that landscape area. And you can reuse the pieces of landscape you've got out there. Even the ones that have cubes on them, you just can't put 2 cubes on a single one. You can't put the cube on
that one, so if it needs to be on that one, you can't do it.
You can't do it, right. So it's a tricky little puzzle. I really enjoy this one. You're drafting 3 pieces per turn, kind of Azul style. but you're taking everything off of one area and then replacing them. So you may get
Yeah, you're taking them all off, not just one
yes,
color.
not just one color, right? So you may get a part of a tree trunk and a tree in a meadow, or a stream and a part of a tree in a meadow, and you're slowly building these out. And at the end of the game, everything scores. Number one, your animals, how many of them you were able to satisfy, but also the individual pieces, the individual components of your landscape score. The mountain score based on how tall they are, the field score based on having two together, the stream scores by how long you've made it, the trees by how tall they are as well. So just all sorts of things like that. It's just, I love the puzzle of this one. I don't think I've actually won this one yet, but I do enjoy the puzzle. That's my number 10.
I think it was like 26. Okay.
Not- I
My
don't
number
think this was
10
me.
is the 6th installment from Shem Phillips.
Okay.
This is Inventors of the South Tigris. This is really cool. You are inventing things. And first you got to get go and get the blueprints of it. So you take it as yours. And then somebody's going to build it and bring it down to where the building is. And it's not you that's going to build it. It could be anybody else. You could build it, but somebody else could build it too. And you're going to get some things. If you're the person that built it and you were the designer, you also get
You got something else.
out
Yeah,
of
you
it.
get extra.
And then you got to publish it, so somebody else could even publish it, and then these people are going to get certain things. But it's all about going across the board, getting points, getting things invented to get the points, to get up in the what do you call the little towers, where you're putting your little asterisks, I would call them.
Oh, it's been used in every one of the South Tigris ones.
But if you've played a South
can't
Tigris
remember,
game, you know what we're talking about. But that's giving you points up there, but you're using them
a
to do other
majority type
things.
thing, yeah.
And I think it is the most crunchiest
Yeah.
and hardest one of them all so far.
So far, yeah.
So, but yeah, that is Inventors of the South Tigris.
Okay. My number 9 is one that we picked up at Gen Con. We played it a couple times at Gen Con, really enjoyed it. Took it to the retreat, played it again at least once. Really enjoyed it. We've played this one a lot, actually. This is Middle Ages. Middle Ages is a remake of one, oh my gosh, what was it a remake of? I don't remember what it was a
We'll
remake
put
of
it
now.
right here. I can't
If I
remember.
can find it, I can't remember what it was. But I thought it was funny because we had been watching a video on it the morning before we left for Gen Con.
Yes.
Like that Thursday
Yeah, I
morning.
sat down because you guys were still getting ready. I sat down and started watching the
Yeah.
video on Man vs. Meeple, and they highlighted this game. I was like,
Yeah.
well, that looks interesting.
And it was really weird because neither of us had ever heard of it.
No.
And then there it is, and we got one of the last copies.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it was meant to be.
Yep.
Anyway, Middle Ages, the way this one plays. This plays, there's another game, it shares a mechanic with another game, and now for the life of me, I can't remember that either. But you have multiple tiles, and these are all puzzle piece type tiles. And all of these tiles are laid out, and King Domino, that's the other one, that it has that King Domino feel of the choice mechanism. So in turn order, you are choosing one of the 5 tiles or one of the tiles that are laid out. You have one more than the number of players. And on your next turn, you are moving your horse from that tile to the next row of tiles in whichever one you want. And turn order is based on the lowest number to the highest number. Each of the tiles are numbered, just like in King Domino. And you're putting them out in number order. You're rearranging them in number order before you flip them over. But you're moving your horse from one row to the next in turn order and claiming the tile that you just left now comes into your kingdom. And you're putting it into your kingdom based on what it is. Is it a mill? Is it a barracks? Is it the cathedral? Is it the chapel? What is it? And each one of them do something special. They might give you money. They may allow you to sack one of your neighbor's buildings. They may allow you to protect yourself from your neighbor's sacks. All sorts of different stuff. But ultimately, you're trying to build up, and you score at the end of the game based on having one of everything. But you may want more of one thing because your neighbor's building up too many barracks. So now you need to build up more protection. So it's, I don't know, I really like this one. It's very satisfying the way everything pieces together.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yep. This is a re-implementation of Majesty
You found it. Okay,
for
good.
the Realm.
Okay, that's what it was. So yeah, very, very fun game. I have very much enjoyed every play we've had of it. But that is Middle Ages.
Okay, my number 9 is, I don't want to say it's a reskin or it could kind of be a re-implementation of it, but it's a standalone game.
Okay.
This is Wormspan.
Okay.
I actually like this a lot better than Wingspan.
Wingspan?
I was like, what was the name of the other game? That's how much I liked it. But I do like it a lot better than Wingspan. I think there's more involvement in it. You don't have to want to know. There's no dice rolling to figure out what resource you're getting. You're just getting resources. You have to have the caves to be able to start on it.
No.
But the whole mechanism of it is still kind of the same. The birds or the dragons do certain things that you're going to score at the end of the round. So you're trying to do that during the round, and it does the whole thing is you lay a bird in a row, then you're going to come back and do what's in that row. Could do different things, but yeah, I really like this one a little better. That is a Wormspan, my number 9.
Yeah, that one has more of a money mechanism.
Yes, yeah, because it's the money that tells you how many actions you're going to get.
Yeah, and some actions cost more than others. It's dragon scales or whatever.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You're in Wormspan, you're losing actions as the game goes by. Wingspan.
Your actions are reducing. Yes.
Wormspan, you're getting actions,
You may end up
getting
with
more because there's more ways to get the coins.
The coins, yeah, that's true. So I enjoy that one. I do enjoy that one. I don't know. I can't decide if I like Wingspan or Wormspan better.
I liked Wormspan. That's why it's my number 9.
Okay. All right. My number 8. I am fairly certain is going to be a crossover. We'll see. We've only gotten to play this one once. A couple friends brought it over, so we do not own this one.
Oh, it could be one of two things.
My number 8 is Galileo Galilei. This is I loved how crunchy this was. You are taking on the part of an astronomer looking for new planets. Your main mechanism is a telescope that can arch up into the sky and then it drops back down. How far you decide to move your telescope will determine what action you take that round. And the tile that the action's on, all the actions are tiles that you can upgrade later in the game. And then, so they get better. But once you've done that action, you pick up the tile and it slides and everything else moves.
Yep.
So the action order is constantly changing. But add in the fact that you are upgrading them, and it gives you a lot of variability right there. However, throughout the game, you're using those actions to do various things. You may be using a comet action, which will help you increase one of your tracks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's like 3 tracks in there.
I want to say there's 3 tracks, yeah. And then the ultimate goal is you're gaining the cards. You're taking a card out of the selection, and you are discovering that planet. I just really like this one. I know that's a horrible description. I apologize. We've only played it the one time, and this is one I definitely would like to play again.
There's the whole Inquisitioner thing.
Yes.
The 3 of you were like just hitting it hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and that was a bad thing because that's one of the reasons why I lost so bad at this game, though. But I agree. I
really enjoyed this one, so I would like to, at the very least, play it again. Like I said, we do not own it yet, though. All right, it's my number 8, Galileo Galilei.
My number 8 is a game that I didn't even think would be in the top 10, let alone the top 20, 30, 40, 50 when I first saw it. But we've now played it quite a few times. We actually played it on New Year's, and everybody looked at it when it first came out at the table, like, oh, what did I get myself into? And then at the end of the game, there's like, let's play it again. That is Rings and Things. Or Things and Rings. I always do it backwards. Things and Rings.
I would have never thought to have liked this game.
Yes, it's nothing really to look at. I mean, it's got 2
Seuss-like.
almost like, it's kind of got almost like yarn that makes the circles
3
almost
of them,
like.
yep,
And then
3.
the artwork is
It's
Dr.
shoelaces.
Zeus. Yeah, it's
shoelaces.
Dr. Zeus-esque.
Yeah.
It looks like a Dr. Zeus game. So I'm like going, what in the world? How is this game even
The
great?
shoelaces make up a Venn diagram, essentially. And you're placing items in the
Yeah.
Venn diagram.
One guy who's called the
knower.
knows where the cards need to go out there.
They know what each circle of the Venn diagram represents.
Right. So everybody's placing the card out, and you're placing it in whatever ring you think it's going in, whether it's in just one of the single rings, is it one that shares with
Crosses
two,
over.
or is it in the middle that it covers all three of them?
Or none. None is an
Or
option.
none, yeah. But you're placing the cards out, and then the knower will say whether that card does belong there, or he'll move it. If it stays, you get a draw. You get to put out another card.
Yeah.
If he moves it, now you draw a card, and the first person out of cards is the winner of the
yeah.
game. You never have to know what the word is, because there's really no word that you're looking for. It's just the way the attributes of each of the
like one
areas
of the circles,
as to where it goes.
One of the circles is the makeup of the word.
Mm-hmm.
And like the one game we played, it was words that were 4 to 6 letters.
Yeah.
And
So
that
it's
confused
never
the-
really a word.
Yeah,
it's
not
always an idea, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like one of mine, and I apologize to the people we played with because I grabbed all hard ones in the first game ever. I grabbed all hard ones, but the second circle was things of mythology, things from history or mythology, something like that, myth or legend. It was things of myth or legend, and the third one was, gosh, I don't remember what my third one was now. But anyway,
I don't think we ever
you
got
get
anything
the
into it.
idea. You're putting these words out and trying to guess what the qualifications are based on what's being put in it. So it's interesting. It's a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. It did not make my top 10, but it's much more interesting.
I just
than
say
I thought
the
it
way
would
you're
be.
talking, it's like, oh yeah, it's made my top 10 too. So,
Nope.
but that's my
Nope, it
number
did not.
8, rings, things and rings. Why do I always say rings and things? Instead of
Oh, there it
things and
is.
rings?
It's 24 for me, believe it or not. I don't know why, but yeah, that seems awfully low for me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Number 7.
my number 7 is our first crossover. If you're going to make 6, you better hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my number 7 is our first crossover, and this is Inventors of the South Tigris. For everything you said, it's super crunchy. I love the fact that even though I invented the chair or the bucket, somebody else can actually produce it or test it.
Mm-hmm.
You can test it. You can make it a real thing. I loved some of the inventions that were in there. Like I had the bookcase and the bowl, and it was just, if you really stopped and looked at me, you had like the folding compass.
Yeah, which is a thing.
Which is
I
a
mean,
thing.
It just has the lid that folds over on
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
So I just thought it was pretty interesting, and I love the fact that
Yeah,
even
and-
though I'm the one who invents it, somebody else can test it and build it and get things from my
Yeah.
design.
Yeah, and the way
makes
those
sense.
names come up, there are the little, basically the blueprint tables
Yeah.
sitting there, and then you're drawing to put a
Card on
card
them,
on
yeah.
it. And that's how it comes up. So like I drew the compass and I put it down on it, and it laid down on the table. It said folding, so now it's a folding compass.
Oh, that's right. It was. That's right. The cards
It wasn't
were-
automatically on the card. It's you had one word on the card,
That's
and the table had
true.
the other name on it.
I don't
and then that's
remember
when
what
it became.
the bowl and bookcase ended up being, but
don't know.
anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I do really like the crunchiness of this one. We've only gotten to play it a couple times. Definitely want to play it some more, obviously. But yeah, my number 7, Inventors of the South Tigris.
All right. My number 7, I will guarantee you, is going to be a crossover. Could possibly be around 1, 2, 3 range in hers. This is a game we have played a lot of here lately and are soon to do a playthrough of. This is Bear Mountain Camping Adventures.
You act like you know me or something. Whatever.
This is a game you backed. We watched a video on it. You did the Kickstarter for it and everything. I was like, yeah, it seems pretty cool. I mean, it's a camping game. We liked
Yeah.
camping when we could.
It fit the theme for what we
Yeah.
like to do.
You're starting in an area on the campgrounds, and you're trying to get to Bear Mountain. And the way you do is you're gonna have to get resources and everything to move up to the different campsites. Basically, you're paying for the new campsite. You have trailers you're moving along. There is an expansion where you can do tents. But you're going to move your trailer along, depending on the size trailer you got, is going to give you a special power for that trailer. As you go up to campsites, sometimes there's tiles in the middle that you flip over, and there could be bears. If there's a bear, now you have to go back to the next campsite area. So, like if I jumped up to the purple area, I would have to go back to the green area, and just stuff like that. It's really cool. There's tiles that it's going to give you cards, it's going to give you campfires. Campfires are wild, but the fact that you backed it all in, you got the expansions to it and everything. Each expansion kind of adds a different twist to it. Adds some different tiles in the middle that could be bad. Some are good, some are bad.
I would say the snake bites are bad.
Yeah, you can combat the bear tile with a bell. Or there is a pets expansion that can go in there, which we're keeping in there. There's like 8 cards. It goes into 2 different decks.
I love the fact the cat can scare away the bear.
If you have a pet with you in your campsite, it'll scare away the bear, or there's
mountain
a
lion.
moose, or it's a wolf, I think. Wasn't it?
There's a wolf. There's a mountain lion.
There's a snake.
There's a snake.
And a bison.
I think there's a bison. And it was either a moose or an elk.
Yeah, something like that.
I have to look at the card.
But it's cool. I mean, because then if you got a pet now, why do you need a bell? Don't really need a bell. So now you don't have to worry about.
Because the pet comes back.
Yeah, because now you don't have to worry about using your resources to try and get a bell. Yeah, because once you use the bell goes away, but your pet doesn't.
It's like you throw it at the bear or something. I don't know.
You jingle it and it eats the bell and it runs away. I don't know. But yeah, it's really cool. It's not extremely thematic, but
it's not
kind of. It's kind of like kind of has a theme in there. But I do like it. I was surprised. It was probably one of my biggest surprises of this year.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but
it seemed very simplistic, and it is.
It is.
It really is.
There's a lot of rules to go over at the beginning, but it's very samey as it continues on, though. But there's enough cards in there right now that it'll change out.
Yeah, you don't see the same cards over and over again. I don't think we've seen the same cards a lot.
Yeah, because with the expansions, you're adding cards to it.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different decks that you're using at the same time. And and you're drafting to get the cards, so it is a deck builder.
Yeah, I like that fact that there's the 2 separate decks. You literally have 2 decks you're building at the same time, so you can keep one small if you want more powerful cards in it, and then just get some of your fluff stuff in the other one.
And I
like that.
To get to Bear Mountain, you have to have 2 resources of each type, and you had to have already gotten
one specific card.
It's
an off-roading card or something like that.
Yeah, it's off-road. And you have to have it in your hand as you're getting ready to go in it.
Yeah.
You couldn't have purchased it. It's got to be in your hand when you go do it. So you're going to get ready to go in there and you don't have the card. So now you just kind of
why you might want to keep
move
one
around a
deck
little bit. Yeah.
very small so that card comes up faster. So yeah.
So,
I like that one.
That is my number 7 Bear Mountain Camping Adventure.
All right. Well, my number 6 is one we were introduced to when we went to Virginia back in April to visit Jeff Knapp from Tabletop Toolbox. We had a little mini cabin con out there, but we did not play this one at the cabin. We played this one, you know what it is, don't you? We played this one at his home with his wife and daughter. This is Let's Go to Japan. We got to meet the designer of this one when we went to Gen Con. He signed our box for us in Japanese, no less. But hey, I really like this one. This ties back to my travel agent days.
Yeah.
I was a travel agent for a lot of years before I do what I do now. It's basically 9/11.
Killed it.
It didn't kill it, but it was definitely the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Let's Go to Japan. This was designed by a gentleman who was planning out a very elaborate trip to Japan, and then 2020 hit. So he had to postpone his trip. Now, I don't know if have never heard if he actually ever took it or not, but he ended up designing this game around what he
planned to do.
Yeah,
anyway.
what he planned to do anyway, or something. Design this game instead. So you're planning out a 6-day trip to Japan from 2 different decks of cards, one in Kyoto, one in Tokyo. Each turn you're taking so many cards and you're choosing a couple and you're putting the others down for somebody else to eventually choose, one of your neighbors to choose. But you are putting them out in one of your 6 days, 7 if you use the expansion. You're trying to plan out each day based on some predetermined ideas. At the very beginning of the game, one person randomly puts out all 6 tiles, and they may be Monday you want to go shopping, and Tuesday you want to see nature, and Thursday you're going to do something else, and Friday you're going to focus on food, everybody else mirrors that, so everybody starts out the same. But you're putting out all of these different places and things that you want to go do into the days, and you can have up to 3 cards in each day, with one exception. There is a way to get a 4th card in there if you take a walk. If you take a card and you absolutely do not want it, there's nothing you can do with it. You can discard that card, draw one off the top of the pile, leave it on the take a walk card, and later on during scoring, you can flip that card over, decide if you really want to go do this thing you found while you were taking a walk, or if you're just going to walk right by it and leave that card face down and just get the points on that. But there's icons all over the place, so it's all based on iconography for scoring. I love the thematics of this one. The whole planning out your trip and getting to hop from one city to the other, and every time you do, you got to have a train token because you can't walk between those 2 cities. I think this one is just it's so thematic and such a neat game.
Oh yeah, when I seen this one, I was like, well, she's gonna love this game.
I did. And we have since upgraded everything. Like, so we did not get the fancy bowls.
We don't have the bowls. We don't have the fancy bowls.
No,
we have everything else.
We
pretty
have
much
everything
now.
else, yeah. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is what I used to do, and I specialized in Europe. Well, I specialized in European and international travel. Never did do much in Japan, though. I never had the opportunity to do many tours through there. So, but anyway, that is Let's Go to Japan, my number 6.
My number 6 is a game you don't like.
Okay, well, that will not be a crossover then.
No, it will not be. We played this on our 24.
Where is
the 24-hour marathon?
Well, it wasn't the last one in my list, if that helps.
Well, that's good, though, because it's my number 6. So.
Okay.
But this is Skyrise. I don't know. I'm not a big auction game person, and I know you're not, though, but I just like what this does. You've got, depending on how many players you got, so in a 4-player game, you've got 4 different islands, and there's a central district, and you're going to, originally the beginning of the game starts right there, and the first person is going to put one out. It's going to be his bid. It's probably one of his, the buildings all have numbers on it. The taller ones are higher, the lower ones are lower, of course. Each set, there's 4 different colors. Each set has different numbers, so the number is not the same on any of the tiles. So you're always outbidding no matter what. So you can't put it, it's the same bid. Now what do we do? So the first player's going to put it out, then you go around clockwise order, and the next person, if he wants to bid, he'll put it out here, or he can pass, and now he's out of the bid. But for each time you're doing it, you're putting it down in a new spot in the districts, and you're making this trail around the districts. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to, it's kind of almost like an area of control. There are in-game goals that you're trying to reach. You have a personal goal you're trying to reach. And then there's tokens in the areas that once the bid ends, whoever gets it is going to get that token. And it's going to go on your board, and it's going to mean things at the end, like the multipliers for how many are in that area, or how many green would you have. I have 3 tiles that are in that area, so I'm multiplying those by 3. It's going to give me my points. But I really like it because of that. It's very strategic. It's almost chess-like strategic, just trying to figure out, how am I going to get these guys to go the direction I need to go? And how am I going to make sure when it gets there that I get that spot and nobody goes, oh, I'm going to bid 1 more, and then I miss it. But it's really cool. I know you don't like it because you're not big into the
I just did not
games,
find
though.
it. Well, it's not even so much the auction because
Did we only play this 2-player?
We only played it 2-player.
Okay, maybe if we played it 4 players,
and
okay,
it might
you
make
might
a
like
difference.
it better.
I don't know, but yeah, I was not a big fan of the one play we had of this. The one time I've played it.
But I think you'd really liked it if we had the deluxe version.
Deluxe
you just
version?
have the retail version of it.
Sounds like we need to play that over at Doug and Mary's.
Yes, we know where it's at.
We know who has a copy.
So that is my number 6, Skyrise.
Okay. All right, my number 5 was also a Kickstarter. I did not even realize this was a 2024 until it showed up on the list on Meeple. We've not played this one since early in the year, but we played it a lot when we first got it. Really like this one. But this is Collab.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So Collab it's very dark. The game is set up in a way that you have your central board that gives you some basically benefits on it. And you have these 6 offshoots with 6 laboratories in each offshoot, in between each of the 6 spire offshoots. Yeah. You have little minions, and then you have your scientist. And your scientists are these gorgeous minis.
Yeah, they're like 5 inches tall.
They're pretty good
4 or 5
size,
inches
yeah.
tall, I think.
Well, I'm probably exaggerating there, but I'll show pictures. But you also have these little minions that have dice in them. And the dice, it's not a dice placement game, but the dice definitely play a part of your strategy. So you are building and gathering more dice throughout the game. You are rolling them and you are putting them out. You're using them to do actions in the various laboratories. As the laboratories get built out, you get more roof pieces on each one that give you more things you can do in a specific laboratory. If you have 2 of these icons, you can do this. If you have 2 of these icons, you can do this instead. It's that type of thing. And it could be getting more dice. It could be putting another laboratory out somewhere. It could be playing cards. Ultimately, this is a tableau builder too. So you are playing out cards to a tableau, a 4x4 tableau, kind of like Earth. And the cards play off of each other. You may want to have certain cards next to each other because they play off of each other. I love the way this one works. The scientist's power is all based on the minions that are next to it. You put the minions out in various spires. Each turn, you're either putting out a minion or you're removing a minion from the board, and you are moving them around based on where you think your scientist is going to want to go. But the best part is that you can put your scientist somewhere and take advantage of other people's minions. So it's not just yours. There may be 5 people's minions, or 4 people. It's a 4-player game. 4 people's minions on one laboratory. And I may only have 1 there, but I can use everybody else's minions. I can use whatever dice power they have sitting there. I can use those. And I really like that. But yeah, that is Collab. A very interesting worker placement tableau builder.
Yep.
Yeah, like it. Yeah. Anyway, my number 5.
We actually did a podcast. We did a deep dive of this one.
We did do a deep dive of this one.
Ben and Justin.
Yeah, we did. I forgot about that. Okay.
That's number 5?
Yes.
My number 5 is what people say is an epic game.
Okay.
And the looks of it is great and epic. It probably would have been higher if it was extremely epic. I don't believe it's it's not as epic as some people say. And this is Andromeda's Edge.
Okay.
It is an epic game because it's huge. It's got really cool minis and everything. And I think the main reason is I like it, it kind of has that engine building with all the labs that you're building or modules that you're putting out. The battle is it allows you to join into somebody's battle when you're not even there to begin with. But if you're close enough, you can get in there and you could end up winning the battle and wiping everybody out. And now you have that area. But
if you think about it, it has the same battle technique as Risk. Highest dice wins.
Yeah.
It does.
But in Risk, an area can't come in and
no, that's
help.
true. You can't have 3 or 4 different people in the battle.
But yeah, it's a hard one to explain, I guess. But
it is. It's worker placement. Yeah,
there are
worker placement and
3 tracks or 4 tracks.
3.
So there's 3 tracks. That's where all your points are coming from. You're trying to get up these tracks by doing different things.
Yeah.
Different things in the game are going to allow you to go up 1 of the 3 tracks, and the higher on those 3 tracks are, the more points you're going to win.
That's basically where the points are.
So so you're trying to get up these tracks. You're trying to build these mods to get basically an engine building to help you go up those tracks, because some of those help you go up the tracks. But yeah, I do like this one. I do want to get it back to the table again. We've only played it the 1 time.
Yeah.
But I do like it enough that it's in here. I think it'll get better with more plays.
Yes.
We just need to get Bill to play it with us because he knows this game. I think he's played it about 100 times.
Yeah,
already.
I want to try it with 4 players at some point. I feel like getting Bill to.
Maybe we can get Bill to do it at BillCon.
That's not till October. Hopefully before.
Or before.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
That's number 5, Andromeda's Edge.
Okay. My number 4 was also a Kickstarter, although we got to play it a couple of times before the Kickstarter ever arrived. We got to play it at Gen Con. We got to play it at the retreat. My number 4 is River Valley Glassworks. This is one where it's actually a very pretty game. I did the all-in, so I've got the player mat with the acrylic river pieces, and throughout the game you are claiming all of the pieces off of the river, off of one section of the river, in order to put into your player board. And the player board, you're having to line them up and there's certain tricks to how you can do it. Each column has to only have one color, but you cannot repeat colors in each row.
No.
So there's a total of 8 to 9 colors, depending on your player count. There's only 7 slots on your board. So anything extra that cannot fit onto your board has to go into an overflow, and you lose points for it. But you have your mining pan that you are choosing stones or glass out of based on the shape. Each of the river pieces have a little shape painted in the corner, and you are putting, in order to claim something next to whatever shape you have. So if I have a heart shape, I'm going to put it onto the piece of river that has the heart shape on it, and then I can claim one section of river next to it, and I can take all of those stones. Trick is getting what you want, knowing that as soon as somebody hits 17 pieces, the game is over. So it's trickier than it sounds to get a decent score. And the scoring's a little wonky because you're scoring by how many rows you can fill up.
And then
all the way across, and then your tallest 2 columns.
Right.
And you want them to be further down the river because those are worth more points, but usually they're going to be closer up. It's a fine balance in making that scoring work properly. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful game on the table. I have enjoyed every play of it so far. But yeah, this is River Valley Glassworks, my number 4.
Yep. My number 4 is another one of our games that we have gotten a lot of play out of, and yet to play it as a 2-player. This is a game that we got at Gen Con. You had no idea about this game until I signed us up to go to Gen Con to the release party, or the reveal party.
Reveal party.
Reveal party.
Yes.
And you fell in love with it. Then we picked it up the next day. Played it there at Gen Con. We played it at a whole bunch at the retreat. You taught a bunch of people at the retreat, like 4 or 5 times there, and we've played it here. Not been able to get it played 2 players yet because every time we pull it out or it's on the shelf and somebody's over there wanting to play it.
Yep.
So this is Reef Project.
Yep.
This is all about cleaning the reefs up. I'm not sure if it actually gives you an area of the world where it's at, but it's where the coral reefs are at, which I think is Australia.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be I just assumed it was Australia.
Okay.
I don't think it says, actually.
No, I don't think it does. But anyway, you are a owner of a boat that you're going around these areas to basically clean up the trash. And how you're doing it is you're leaving an island and you're going to pay energy to go across the route that you're going to go. You're going to pay however many energy symbols are shown between it. You're going to pay that much energy. You're going to drop a reef ball, and then you're going to go across. And then the next time you come across that same lane, you don't have to pay any because you have a reef ball. But if somebody else comes through, they still have to pay the amount of energy still open. When you get to an island, it's going to give you a thing on the island as to what you get to do, actions you get to take, whether it's like getting certain resources up, getting a reef ball out of your storage and putting it on deck to get ready to drop it the next time, activating your crew members that you have, buying a crew member, all sorts of different things all over the place. There's also cards that you have. Certain islands, all the islands have a symbol on them all the way around. And you're going to drop you want to go to those islands because some of the cards will allow you to do extra things while you're there, or it won't allow you to do what's on the island, but it's going to give you a really cool power to be able to do that turn. And these all have different color coral on it, which is now a set collecting, and you get points for if you have a set of, what is it, 4? I think, yeah, it's four reef colors.
No, 3.
3?
There's 3 reef colors.
So if you have one of each color, then you have a set, you're going to score points for that. But it's really cool. There's so many ways to get points. And you're going across, you have the scoreboard on there. You have a track for science that, however far along with science you are, is going to determine, 1, how many cards you get to take, or from what area you can take cards when you're allowed to take a card. The science track also breaks any ties anywhere. And it also gives you, there's some areas where it's going to give you bonuses. You have the diver area where you're going to go across and you're going to unveil these air tanks that are going to give you special things on the first time you go through there, and then everybody else comes through, they're going to get one little extra thing. It also tells you what area of coral you get to discover when you can do the coral action.
The fish action. Yeah.
The fish section, which is to look at the coral.
Yeah.
And then it'll show you where you can look at it. But I think it's really cool. You play to a certain, I think it's 45 is how
Play
far
to
you go.
45 is the end game trigger, yeah.
And the one really cool thing about the game is that most games give you that end game card that you got to pick out of 2 at the very beginning of the game. This one does not. When somebody gets to the 22, you're going to pull up the cards. There's a deck of cards that say 22 on it. You're going to take as many cards there are, players plus 2. The person who's last on this track, they're going to look at the cards, they're going to take one, that's their in-game scoring that they get to do, nobody else gets to do, and then it passes and it goes up the whoever the scoring track is, however many it is. Yeah. And that's their in-game scoring, and that's when you decide. I mean, by then you already know the path you're trying to take, so you're going to take the best one that's going to be able to score the best of.
Or take the one somebody else will score too much on it.
Yep.
You're trying
but
to
the whole game
away.
is about making sure you have energy to travel until you get your lanes open that you can easily, because movement is only restricted by energy.
Yeah.
If you can't pay the energy to get through that area, you can't go that way. Or you could take the long way around. Say you've got a path all the way around to the other side, you can take that all the way. So it's not going to block how far you move. And if you have a different way that you've already got past, then you can go there.
Yeah.
But once there's a reef ball in each of the areas on all the sides of an area where there's trash, that area
Closes
is scored.
Out, yeah.
The person who has the most presence in that area is going to get the trash thing, and it's going to give them a power or a scoring points for the end of the game. And then you score points for however many you have in the area. But it's cool. I like it. That's why it's my number 4, and will be number 1 or number 2 for her.
Okay.
I call it now.
Anyway, my number 3 is one that we just picked up recently. We've gotten one play of it in. Picked this up with some Christmas money we got from Cooperative Nerds, so thank you, Doug and Mary. But this is Forges of Ravenshire. This is basically a dice placement game. I really enjoy what this one does. So the board is seated with a certain number of dice at the beginning of the game, beginning of each round actually. It is reseated with dice into each of the action spaces. Each action space has 2 dice possibilities. On your turn, you are taking one of your dice, which everybody starts with 3, one of each color, and you are putting it out somewhere on the board and doing the action based on the number of the dice that you placed out. So you roll the dice at the start of each turn. You might roll 3 3s. Based on the number you put out there determines what the action is you're going to take, how powerful the action is you're going to take. And then after you've done that action, now you're pulling another dice back and you're putting it onto your board. But before you put it on your board, you're doing the action based on the number that you just picked up
so
from.
it kind of like
Raiders of the
North Sea. Why did I say Vikings? It's because you're Vikings. Anyway.
But yes, so you are taking the action of the dice you put out as well as the action of the dice you pick up. Then you are putting that on your board in one of 3 locations, and you're activating that entire line of tiles. And these tiles you can purchase new ones throughout the game, so you can upgrade them so that they become better actions every time you do it. And it's the yellow, green, and purple dice, and you can activate again depending on the color you picked up. Now determines which one you can activate, which line you can activate. That's how you're going to get your resources, and you're going to get other abilities off of it. At the end of each round, now there's a separate set. You gather up all of the dice that you just took, all 3 of the dice that you've taken during that round. 4th dice, if you have a familiar that gives you a die. We did not play with the familiars on our first game. They recommended not to on your first game, so we listened, whatever. Anyway, and then you are placing those dice elsewhere in order to basically activate an engine, to get your engine rolling. I really like what this one does. I need to play it some more to really figure it out, but I'm liking what I see so far. But that is Forges of Ravenshire, my number 3.
My number 3 is a crossover.
Okay.
This is Galileo Galilei.
I had a feeling this one would be on yours.
I was almost expecting this to be my number 1 because I liked it that much, even though I totally got creamed with this game. I loved what it was doing. I could see the potential in this game.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty much everything Katie said. I'm just going to have to not worry about the Inquisitioners next time and just take
Go
them
with
as
it.
they go, because I totally tried to avoid them. I think I only did one Inquisitioner. I was only going to like going, I think my problem was only, for most of the way through the game, I thought as soon as you got an Inquisitioner, you had to deal with them, and if they were left on your board by the end of the turn, you were taking the punishments. It wasn't until the end of the round or whatever, something like that, when
There
you
was
needed
ways to
get
mitigate
over.
them, yeah.
Right.
There was ways to
and I
mitigate
hadn't
them.
figured that out, but once I do, look out. But unfortunately, we don't have this game yet.
Nope.
I do say yet, but
I said
we
yet
know
too.
somebody. I do know somebody who has the game, so we know somebody who has the game. So, but yet that is my number 3, Galileo Galilei.
Okay. All right, my number 2. Now, my number 1 and 2,
Have
they
already
are
been
completely interchangeable because I really like them both the same. My number 2 was Bear Mountain. Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. Yeah, you already said it, so just take a chill
You'll
pill.
have to look at the replay.
Why?
Just have to look at the replay. They know.
Whatever. Anyway, my number 2 is Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. I backed this one because it was a brand new company. It was a theme I enjoyed. It looked good, and I wanted to support. I mean, that's what Kickstarter is for, right? You support the small companies in hopes to help them fund their project. And boy, did they fund. The whole process, yes, it was a little bit late getting here. It was supposed to be June. We didn't get it till December, but they were 100% open the entire time. There was never any secrets. They kept everybody very well up to date on what was happening. So I was very, very impressed with the Kickstarter that they ran, and we've already backed their
And this
second
is their
one.
first game, yeah.
This was their very first game, yes. This is from Sweater Bear Games.
Weird name.
But yeah, well, whatever. The second one is a camping based also. So, apparently they like camping, and that's okay. So Bear Mountain, you've already talked a lot about it. We do have all of the upgrades. So we've got extreme weather. We've got rough terrain. Both of those add some new cards into it.
And the Falls one.
And yes, and then you flip the game over, and it's a completely new game, and that is Legend of the Falls.
Yes.
Where now there are 5 sets of waterfalls, one in each corner and one in the center, and it's a race. It's the first player to get 3 of the 5 to achieve that goal wins the game. So I really liked that one. It's not going from campsite to campsite. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not going from area to area. You're going from campsite to campsite. You can move up to 2 spaces per. But if you get to one that has any of the tokens on it, the surprise tokens on it, you've got to stop unless you have one of the waterfalls that lets you go through it. But now you find that you're having to pay resources more often.
Yes.
You're not just paying resources to get from green into purple. You're now paying resources to get from this campsite to this campsite and then to this campsite. So not all of them require resources, but the closer you get to the falls, the more they do.
Yeah.
So I really liked this game.
I like how you have to manage your hand too, or your decks, because you start running out of cards in your hand. You don't draw back up. You only draw up however many that campsite tells you you can draw back up. So
yeah, because each turn, like each campsite will tell you you get to draw 2 green cards and a blue card, and you get a coin, or you get to draw 1 of each and get a coin, or you can draw 3 of one and 1 of the other, but no money. So each campsite has a different set of resources of cards that you can pull. And I like that because each turn you're playing out your hand and then you're drawing back up again. So as you stated, with especially on the one flip side where you have to have that off-roading card, if I know that's in my green deck and I'm getting close, I'm going to start burning through my green cards so I can find that card and just be ready. Because as soon as I pull that green card, as soon as I pull that off-roading card, I won the game, provided he doesn't do it first. Happened a couple times. I really like what this one does. I think it's fun, it's lighthearted, but there's still a challenge to it. There's still a challenge of making the cards do what you want them to do. Which cards do I buy to get the resources I need to make this work. So yeah, really love this one so far. That is Bear Mountain Camping Adventure.
Okay, and that's how many? That's 3?
That is 4.
That's 4?
Yep.
4
4 crossovers so
Okay.
far. Well,
Number-
no, 3. 3, because yeah, I haven't said my number 1 yet. I've already got it marked.
My
down.
number 2 is crossover number 4.
Okay.
That is Forges of
I
Ravenshire.
had a
This is
feeling
one
this
that
was
I
gonna be on
almost
yours.
backed on Kickstarter.
you?
Did not back it. I don't know why. I think because we had so many Kickstarters already out when it first went out. And then I seen Doug got it, and I'm like going, okay, at least I can play it. And then they gave us the gift card, and they had it at the game store. I was like going, I want that game.
That's a good one. It is.
Yeah.
like it.
So everything she said, it is set. It plays so cool. I mean, it like I said, it has the I'm going to say Vikings again. Raiders of the North Seas aspect of you're playing and then taking back.
Yeah, and doing the actions of both.
Yeah, because you're going to play. I was like, oh, gosh, I need a leather, so I'm going to play this low one here. Or no, the leather was high, wasn't it? So I'm going to play
I
like
don't
this
remember.
6 here. I'm going to get 3 leather and a coin. And I'm going to take this one back over here because I need to get another
Tile
tile
for
for
my
my forges. Then I'm going to put that on that forge, and now I get to run that forge.
Yeah, I like it.
So it's really cool because it's just that engine building part going down here, and I love engine builders. But did I win this game? I don't remember who won this game.
You probably did. I don't remember either. Yes, I should have won this game.
Oh yeah? What'd I do? Tell them what I do.
Yeah, you complained I had this game in the bag the whole time, and then came back and beat me by 3 points.
I vaguely remember
Anyway.
that.
I remember very.
But that's my number 2, Forges of Ravenshire.
All right. Well, and last but not least, if I can get my mouse to the
And
right
we're going to
place.
end up with 5 crossovers. I said 5. I said possibly 6. But I did agree on 5.
I said 5. I said flat out 5. So I'm more right because I didn't waver. I didn't waffle on it. My number 1, as predicted, again, could be totally interchangeable with number 2, is Reef Project. You pretty much explained the entire game, so I don't have much left to say other than the fact I have very, very much enjoyed playing this. I have very much enjoyed teaching this. Eventually, we're going to do a playthrough of this one. We've been saying that for about 4 months now, though, so we'll see what happens. I really enjoy this one. I love the building out your shipboard with being able to, one, increase your production or increase your availability of resources, not even production, because it's not production, increase the availability in your hold for your resources, to increase your crew members and the abilities that they give you when you activate them. I love being able to just zip around to the different islands and do the different tracks you can go up on, the diver track, the fish track, which is again the coral reefs, just all of it. There's so many decisions to make in this one, and every decision does not feel important, but it ends up being important, and I really like that. But yeah, my number 1 is Reef Project.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to stop at 5 crossovers.
So I am more right.
I think I said 5 to begin with, and you said 4, then you said 5, and then I said maybe 6. Anyway, my number 1. Can you guess it?
No, I honestly thought it was going to be Skyrise.
No. This is a game we play on New Year's, and it
Oh,
cemented it even
duh.
more. This
Oh, my
is
gosh.
Rock Hard 1977.
Yeah, I should have guessed that one. I'm
This is a
shocked.
game by Jackie Fox, formerly of the Runaways.
I should have known this.
It's such a cool game. I know you did not enjoy your first play of it. Your second play was a lot better.
Yes.
But, well, because we started it at like 11:30 at night.
We started at 11:30 at night, and a 4-player game with 3 players who have never played before is going to go long.
Yeah.
And it did. At 1:30, I said I was done, and the guys very nicely wrapped it up 2 months early.
Yeah. But this is so cool. You have basically it's a year in the life of a struggling musician, basically.
Yes.
You're going to start off, you're going to have a job, you're going to have a manager, you're going to have life goals that you're trying to get. But you're going to have a job that's going to tell you when you work, and you're going to need to go to the job so you can get money to fund your rock star life. But you got daytime things that you're going to do. You can do interviews. You can go try and get your demo published or trying to get your record album by roadies. In the middle, you're going to be doing gigs. And on the end, it's the after hours stuff, all the partying and stuff you're going to do, though. But I think the best part of this game is when
networking. It's networking. Anyway, keep going. It's not partying. You're networking.
You've seen the cards.
That's not
It's partying.
Well, granted, that networking is not what they called it back then, but that's
No,
what
it's
it was.
not.
So anyway,
Anyway, though, but one of the greatest things in this game is when somebody forgets they had to work.
oh my gosh,
The comments they
best
come flying
line
out
ever.
when somebody forgets they had to work, and it even came out in the game we played New Year's Eve. That somebody else said it too. It was like,
Oh, did they really?
yeah, I think I even said it too. But yeah, so if you miss your work 3 times, you no longer are employed. You're now a professional rock star, and
done got
hope you
fired.
get money some other way.
Yeah.
And by then, hopefully, you're supporting yourself with your gigs and stuff, and you're big enough to do that with.
Yeah.
Though. But there is a set collecting thing in the nightlife where you can go to different areas, different bars, different places. You're going to pick up cards. They're going to give you things like money, or you get a song, or some reputation, or candy. We'll get to that. Or or just fame points. But they're going to give you a symbol on the card, and you're going to get, if you get 4 of those in a row, you're going to get 5 points. Or 4 of different types, you're going to get 5 points. That's really cool. The candy is something you can take, as they say in it, it's candy. Now remember, this is the 1977's rock scene.
And they're trying to make it a family-friendly game.
So it's a little bitty pink piece of candy. We've upgraded ours. But you can take candy, do one of your actions, and then go someplace else in that part of the day and do another action. It's the only way you can do 2 actions in a turn.
Section of the day, yeah.
But there are spots on there that shows the no candy sign, which means you can't take candy doing that and then do that action again.
Right.
You've got to do a different action. So you've got that, but when you do candy, you go to your amp, which is your player board, you turn up the craving dial, now you got to roll a die 6, and you got to roll over whatever your craving is.
Yeah.
If you roll under it, now you have to go report the next morning to rehab, or it was actually recovery, I believe is what it says on the board.
Yeah, it might be. I don't remember.
And basically you lose your action for the day. That's where you're at. You're in rehab, pretty much, or recovery. But when you do the do the candy, you pull a card and it'll let you know whether you're going to get an extra action or 2 extra actions, or you actually pulled a piece of candy and you get no extra actions. And yeah. But I love what it's doing, and in a 4-player game, it's pretty cool because you're battling over where you're going to go.
Yeah, there's only one spot to get your demo cut. Mm-hmm. So only one person can do it each day. Mm-hmm. There's only one spot at each of the nightclubs.
Yep.
So if you need a specific icon, and where you go determines player order the next round.
Yeah, because they're numbered.
Yeah.
In the nightlife and across the top of the board where you can buy candy or sell candy or write songs or give blood or work, they're all numbered.
Or go to bed early.
Or even go to bed early.
So if you know you need to make this happen next round, you better go to bed early. Because otherwise you may not
if
be
it's already
first.
been taken by the time you get there, go to bed early. So
go to bed early so you know you're going to get it the next day because you'll be first each round.
Or go up and buy candy. That's number 1. Buy or sell.
Buy or sell, yeah.
Then
that's true.
you
No,
definitely
go
are
to bed
going
is
the first
1.
one.
Candy's 2. Give blood is 3.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to bed is 1. So I remember.
But anyway, but that is Rock Hard in 1977. Really cool game. Looking forward for more plays of it.
It was my number 16. So it's there. It definitely improved from our first play, and I would not mind trying it at a higher player count again. It can be a long game at a higher player count. It really can, because there is a lot of decision space in this.
So that's our number 10. Do we want to go to 20 or just 15?
Just 15.
Just
We'll do
15?
our next 5 honorable mentions, essentially.
So what are yours?
All right, my number 15 is Terminus.
Oh, you're going from 15 to 11, not 11 to 15? Okay.
Yes, since I've already started,
Okay.
yes. My number 15 is Terminus. We got to play it at the retreat. We've since bought it, have not played it again yet, though, but I really enjoyed this. I screwed up royally and handed the game to Matt when we played at the retreat because I messed up big time, and it cost me the game. But yeah, it is what it is. It was still fun. My number 14 is one we just picked up recently, In the Footsteps of Marie Curie. We really enjoyed In the Footsteps of Darwin last year, and this looked very, very similar, and it is. Totally different mechanics,
Yes.
but the same
artist. And
yeah,
I
same
don't think it's the
premise.
same designer, but it's the same artist.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. Footsteps of Marie Curie, 14. 13 was Gnome Hollow. I have thoroughly enjoyed both plays we've had of that. 12 was Windmill Valley. And my number 11, last but not least, is River of Gold, which is a good one. I very much enjoy that one too.
Okay, so my 15 then was In the Footsteps of Marie Curie.
Okay.
I really liked that. That was really cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
Number
that one did.
14 was Weirdwood Manor.
That one was
That one, we need some more play
We
to that.
need more
It is
plays of
such a
that.
fun game, though.
It is.
But I
It was
think that's why it's down at
hard.
14 is because we didn't have many plays.
We've only
We
had
the
one play
play
of it, and I did not 100%
and we're not
figure it
100%.
out.
Yeah, we didn't really figure much
Yeah,
of it out, though.
I got
But
a
I
lot
do
more to
like it.
figure on that one.
Number 13 was Let's Go to Japan.
Okay.
Number
Almost across
12 was Fromage.
Okay.
I really like that one.
I did like
and
that one.
number 11 was Middle Ages.
Okay. Anyway.
Well, there you have it. Our top 10 2024 games. So until then, we'll see you at the next one.